One thing I hate in every single COD Zombies map. I hate how in Nectar and Toten, the zombies take ages to actually get to you. The spawns are so slow in this map. I hate how in Farouk, you have this door here, so you decide to open it, and there's absolutely nothing in here except for a bar, a bipod, but the gun actually doesn't come with a bipod. Just really dumb. I hate how in Shironuma, if you get really bad luck, you have to end up buying this door that fucks up the best training spot on the map if you don't get Jug in any of the other locations. It sucks pretty hard. One thing I hate about the Reese is the fact that the zombies try and hug you so hard in this. I mean, if I'm not in round 1, then you're pretty much gonna die if you try and knife a zombie. Even if I'm just running past this zombie here, you guys are gonna see what I mean. I mean, just look at this. See what I mean? So one thing I hate about Kino in Black Ops 1 is just how basic the map is. I mean, coming from the Reese, I wasn't really expecting ginormous innovation, but this map just feels like very, very similar. The map just feels like it hasn't really progressed much from the Reese, but it probably could have been a lot more. I hate how in 5, the wonder weapon, the Winter's Howl, is absolutely useless after round 10. I also hate seeing this pig stuck here. I hate how in Ascension, you can't buy any perks without these monkeys trying to take them. I hate how in Call of the Dead, the map has no traps, which makes it almost impossible to get really high rounds. One thing that's always really annoyed me about Shangri-La is the fact there's 2 power switches. I mean, what's the point? You press both of them, then you get power. I mean, why not just the one? I hate how in Moon, you have a 50-50 chance of getting Jug or Speed Cola at the start of the game. It just makes it really awkward for them first few rounds when you can have Jug over Speed Cola, obviously. I hate how in Transit, despite town being one of the most popular areas of the map, it has no wall weapons. I hate how your main way of transport in Die Rise are these elevators, and there's not really a good way of getting them when you need them. You just kind of have to wait most of the time. One thing I hate about Nuketown is the fact whilst we're out here killing zombies, Marlton's hiding in here. One thing I hate about Mob of the Dead is even for the Pack-a-Punch sequence is pretty cool getting the plane and stuff, the overall hassle of getting all the parts and recollecting them just to pack-a-punch a gun is really annoying. One thing I hate about Buried is that if Leroy stubs his toe, he goes running back to his cage. I mean, if I can take a full shot of the ray gun to my feet without Jug, then I'm sure you can survive a little pistol shot to the foot. I hate how in Origins, the map is covered by 80% of this mud that makes you run really slow. One thing I hate about Outbreak is the fact that it wasn't on disc. Now, the map itself might not be that great and has a few gameplay issues, but I promise you if this game had Exo Zombies on disc, and I don't mean a bonus game mode, then it would have done much better than it did. One thing I hate about Infection has to be the survivor rounds. This is like the main selling point of this map, and it's awful. You have to escort the survivor here to a chopper, I guess, and get him out alive, but it's just really broken on the higher rounds. I mean, even now in round 6 is a bit of a challenge. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it's not easy. I saved him. I hate how in Carrier, people can shoot you. In Descent, I really don't like the Easter egg. It's probably one of the worst Easter eggs of all time in my personal opinion that can be done solo. One thing I hate about Shadows of Evil is this cutscene. It was just really awkward because every time I'd watch it, my mum used to walk in, or someone like my dad, my mum, my gran, someone walked in when this was happening. I hate how on the Giant, it felt like it was appropriate to put the Annihilator as a specialist weapon. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather this than nothing, but it's still pretty poo-poo like after round 10. I hate this whole sequence in The Rise and Dracula where the rockets, you know, doing a test, you come to these doors, they're shutting, but let's say you're a little bit cocky and you're like, oh, da 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 da, then you're trying to slide through them, and then you die. I don't like that. I hate how much of a chore the power is in Zetsubo no Shima. To do it, you have to pour water into 2 parts of the map, and then if you don't time it right, then you have to do it all over again. Then this door open, then you get into the main facility, but kind of dumb. I've always thought how cool it would be if the Mark IIIs could kill forever. Don't get me wrong, they're really good wonder weapons that have other abilities rather than just killing, like making you run faster when you shoot a shot. But the fact it doesn't kill long term and like past around 50, it's pretty useless. It's always just been kind of depressing to me. One thing I've always disliked about Revelations is that when Jason Blundell said we'd see the staffs again, I didn't think he meant like this. One thing I hate about Zombies in Spaceland has to be the boss fight. It's just really difficult and can be really awkward. One thing I hate about Raven the Redwoods, even though it's cool that we get to pick our own weapons to start off with, you don't really get many points from the mutant for their melee weapons. One thing I hate about Shining Shuffle is just the way the map looks. The color palette is pretty meh except for a few areas when it's lit up, but when you're actually outside exploring, for the most part, it's just browns and greys. In Attack of the Radioactive Thing, one thing I really get upset about and hate about the map is that we have to kill Lobster Man. He's not doing anything wrong. He's kind of like a cat. Cats do things wrong sometimes. We don't kill them. One thing I hate about Beast from Beyond is the fact that they completely destroy the Extinction storyline in one swoop. One thing I really didn't like about the final Reich was all the jump scares. Like, it was over necessary. I hate how in Groston House they don't just give you the mystery box in the map. You have to do a little Easter egg in it to get access to it. Because how many people have actually played this map and not realized, oh shit, there's a mystery box in it? I hate how on the Darkest Shore the fog rolls in. I hate how on the Shadow Throne, all the Easter egg steps that involve some sort of dial were very awkward and solo. I mean, look, you come up to this, you start messing around with it, you have a little bit of time, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you turn around, and you're stuck in a corner. Just not that fun. I hate how the Tortured Path was a DLC pack. Don't get me wrong, them as survival maps aren't that bad, but they feel like an added bonus to a DLC pack. Because there's really not that much substance in them. I hate how in the Frozen Dawn, I fall off this ledge more often than not. One thing I hate about Classified is the fact the Easter egg is almost impossible. Unless you have an entire day on your hands, because the Easter egg on this map, to get the Easter egg cutscene at least, is getting to around 150. And you can do this the proper way, or you can do this the cheat way. One thing I hate about Blood of the Dead is the fact even though the Easter egg steps are beautifully choreographed, the actual gameplay of them sucks. And it makes Blood of the Dead's Easter egg one of the worst there's been. In 9, I absolutely hate the fire that comes in the starting room. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty easy to avoid most of the time, but there's nothing worse than getting hit a few times and then sliding into it and then going down because of it. One thing I hate about Voyage of Despair is how close quarters the map is, especially with the way that Black Ops 4 Zombies works. In Black Ops 4 Zombies, it's pretty well known that the zombie hordes, they spread out a bit more than in previous games, so it's quite easy to get stuck in here. One thing I hate about Dead of the Night is the fact that this intro cutscene has like zero dialogue talking from the characters. They all just kind of look at each other and like, yeah, I'm here as well. I hate what they do to my boy Pegasus in Ancient Evil. It's really sad, and if you want to pretend he's okay after this map, then yeah, don't look up the ending cutscene for this map. I hate how in Alpha Omega, there's such a wide variety of enemy types, and they all kind of just clash together. On Tagged or Toten, I don't really like how our last set of characters we play in the main Aether storyline is Victus. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the worst thing in the world, but feels like we should be playing with Richtofen and stuff. A small complaint, I know, but a valid one. I hate how in D Machine, the Easter egg feels kind of underwhelming. Now don't get me wrong, I know there's time restraints, but since it was the first map, we were really expecting a lot, and it got solved in 2 hours. One thing that really annoys me about Firebase Z is even though the order rounds are fun, they kind of completely stop the flow of gameplay. You're just gonna feel like, oh, well, I have to go here now, because if you don't, then your game will get fucked. One thing which I don't really like about Marauder Toten is the fact that the Wonder Weapon is only available through drops. So if you only want to use one of them per game, you don't really get the opportunity to do that. You just have to wait until the cycle rotates. One thing I don't really like about Forsaken is the fact it has one of the shortest Easter eggs of all time. Dirt and Fang and Terra Maledicta won't be included on this list, but obviously Shinonuma and the Archon will be. One thing I don't really like about Shinonuma Reborn is the fact that Shinonuma again, which isn't inherently bad, but this is a new Zombies game, there should be new map. And one thing I don't like about the Archon is the fact it's just a copy and paste of Terra Maledicta. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content from myself, and go watch other things I love in each zombie map. You might like that video as well. And with that said guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.